Zero trust is many things, and it's probably also relatively abused terminology in cybersecurity, because everyone, they seem to have their own definition of what zero trust actually is. There's also many different elements that falls under zero trust. But if you drill down, it's really about understanding the trust levels required to perform a certain task in the infrastructure. That could be a user trying to connect to a server, or it could also be an application trying to connect to a backend database. Establishing what is required in communication in an infrastructure requires a great level of understanding of who and what should be doing things in the infrastructure. And therefore we often fail in tying those trust levels in, leaving privileges and accesses that are too great in the infrastructure. If we can understand the communication flows and lock them down, we really end up with an environment which is much more robust against malicious activity. And we also make the job of the attacker much harder by limiting, for instance, the capability to do lateral movement in the infrastructure. It is simply good security practice to only allow what's required. And that is exactly what Zero Trust aims to do. Zero Trust has always been a great ambition for organizations. Personally, I started working with Zero Trust many years ago, before we even started calling it Zero Trust. When we started putting firewalls in place in our data centers in between VLANs and making sure that we started to understand firewall rules and segmentation between servers. This was all about the purpose of being able to segment systems into different security levels in our environment. Also something that we do with Zero Trust today. The reason why we were not able to do it in a better way back then, and probably also the reason why it's challenging for customers today, is because we didn't have the tools and the capabilities for doing this efficiently. This is what has changed today. Now we're starting to get some of the tools required to be able to deploy Zero Trust in an efficient and manageable way across the organization. So really, what most organizations will figure out is that Zero Trust is not just a technical issue. It's also a data problem, in the sense that in order to create good segmentation between systems, you need, and be able to maintain rules between systems, you really need to have a very good understanding about the application flow and communication between those systems. We've been working with Zero Trust for years. Actually, when we started installing firewalls in the data center, back in the early days of Help AG, we were amongst the first in the market to do this. Why did we do that? That was in order to create Zero Trust and segmentation of the data center. Of course, today we have developed a methodology around Zero Trust, and we have also identified the right partnerships with technology vendors in order to make sure that we're able to deliver Zero Trust architectures to clients in a way that does not just provide the right security capabilities, but also gives you the right management capabilities to be able to deploy an infrastructure that both scales and operates within your organization.